How did I get here?
Where is here? Fresno, California, McGaughys suspension, and JB got here by reaching out through social media, asking questions about his truck. He has an AT4X, and he was really concerned about ride quality and doing the right thing. JB is always just a tweaker on making sure everything's tweaked perfectly. His performance, which is all over
Sanity.
I mean, plenty of videos on that, but now he's concentrating on suspension, ride height, and ride quality. So he reached out through social media. My name's Nick. I take care of all the social media for McGaughys suspension, so I responded back. We ended up jumping on a phone call, and the relationship formed from there. And here we are today, where JB is going to get to take a tour around this building with Steve McGaughy, and we're going to show him what goes on behind the doors that is not publicly open. But today, JB is going to get a bird's eye view of what's going on inside. And we're going to take you guys with us so you can see at home.
You guys ready?
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Here he is, guys. The man, the myth, the legend.
How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Good.
This is Steve McGaughys. This is the owner of McGaughys.
That's right. Yep, the one and only.
The one and only. So,
McGaughys.
yeah.
Do we have to pronounce it?
He actually nailed it.
I know he did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been practicing, you know?
Viewers, that's the thing. It's always, we get so many different versions, which is kind of the funny thing about the joke about it, but it's McGaughys.
Yeah.
We always get the McGaughys.
You guys aren't mafia. I mean, come on, man.
No.
Yeah, so how did this all get started?
So my parents started the company 1984.
Okay.
My dad was side hustling, flipping Volkswagens and building T-buckets. In 1984, they officially started the company. My mom had a 55 Chevy, had a really hard time being able to drive it. They had no power steering. Just had a huge steering wheel. You know, it was like 5 turns, lock to lock, wandered down the road. So my dad figured out a way to take some of the original 1955 Chevy internals, sector shaft, machine some of the gears, found a late model like Monte Carlo 80s power steering box, combined the two parts, welded them together, figured out a way to do that, and then made a kit to put into that car. It was a bolt-in, so you could take and have a 1955 Chevy with basically Corvette steering, 3 turns lock to lock, and it was bolt-in, so you could do it in your driveway. And you didn't really know if there was a market. Took one to a show and sold it. Next thing you know, like that guy tells somebody else, he takes a couple more next time, and it just starts turning into something. And then he's like, well, hey, these cars, they don't stock good. Let me figure out a way I can make a disc brake conversion kit instead of drum brakes. So all these part numbers, right, just started becoming out of thin air, like all items he was inventing.
Yeah.
That led us from the 55, 57s to the Impalas, to the Camaros, the Chevelles, the C10 trucks. I graduated high school. I was into like the lower truck scene and really wanted to do something with like the newer truck stuff. Talked to my dad into letting us develop sport truck lowering kits. So we made all the 99 to 06 half-ton trucks.
Yeah.
We developed a drop spindle for it. I actually got a patent on it. Took it to SEMA. We won an award from General Motors for it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it kind of opened a lot of doors for us.
How old were you when that happened?
I would have been like 21.
Wow.
21 years
And you guys are building patents and building products.
Yeah, we built that first spindle because nobody was building normal drop spindles at the time. They were doing a lot of weird stuff. So my dad and I, he had a Tahoe and I had a truck. We started just mocking up stuff, coming up with ideas, figured out a way to do it, machined the first spindle out of like a solid billet chunk of steel. Put it on the truck, nobody knew about it, and that's when we started all the patenting process, getting the attorney involved, patenting. It was actually a utility patent, so like the process of making it, as well as the design. And once we kind of got that hung down and secured, then we started releasing it, took it to SEMA, started building kits. So we started building lowering kits for basically 73, 87, 88, 98, and then 99 to 06, and then all the way up now till 2026.
Yeah.
Lowering kits. My wife and I took the company over about 15 years ago, pretty much solely, and we started doing lift kits. So we build lift kits from 99 to current. Chevy, Ford, and Dodge.
Okay.
Almost all 8-lug stuff. All the half-ton Chevy stuff. some F-150 stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, a bunch of different kits.
Wow. And so we're gonna go for a quick walk here, but everything starts and ends in this facility, right?
Correct. So we manufacture here in Fresno, California. We don't pour ductile iron, so we have 3 foundries that pour metal for us, that pour it off of our molds, ship us our castings. We machine them, QC them, box them, and ship them with our kits. The other thing that we don't do in here yet is we don't powder coat.
Okay.
So there's a guy, 2 different companies, depending on what color it is, pick up and drop off every day.
Wow.
So once we build the product, we cut it, we form it, part number it, it gets welded, whether it's robotic or human. Final assembly gets checked, it gets processed, goes out the door, comes back powder coated, and it ends up in this department where they actually will package it. So we have UPS packaging, and then on this side of the shop is where they're assembling like a lot of the lift kit stuff you'll see on the ground, certain kits that get put together. Some of the kits could be 200 different pieces to make up a part number. We make close to 6,000 different parts, 1,300 part numbers, kit part numbers, so there's a bunch of pieces going on.
Yeah.
As much as I'd love to build a bunch of different stuff, sometimes we got to kind of like slow it down and do what we're good at.
Oh, we're going to talk about that here in a second. I real quickly, I actually hit him with an idea, and his explanation was so good. I want you to talk about that here at the end of the video here. But let's go into the next shop here, because I want to talk about some. Or did something you want to say?
Yeah, you hit him with an idea, and what was his response was, everyone hits me with an idea. And it's overwhelming because we just need to concentrate.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of valid stuff to think about.
Oh, 100%.
But this guy is always thinking and always processing things in his head.
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest things about Steve, is that he doesn't slouch and like he's ready to do things. But I will say, it takes a while because he's a perfectionist. So it does end up being a positive thing if you're willing to wait, because he is bringing out stuff to the public that is really, really nice, but he's a perfectionist.
My wife always tells me, she's like, hey, you got to slow down on making so many part numbers, because it's fun to build like one of something, right? I love nothing more than coming to the shop and design all day and build things. It's the process of being able to manufacture it, put it in the box, train people on what items go in the box all the time, how's it made, the fixturing, having guys to be able to comprehend like how those pieces go together. There's so much more than just building one of something. Right? It's all the other stuff that takes all the time, and then making sure the marketing guy knows it's coming and has all the info for it, and we can keep it in stock. And so it's a bunch. I love doing it. So.
No, 100%. Yeah, my truck is on the lift right now, so I want to ask you a question about a part on there.
Okay.
Because, and the reason why I'm going to ask you this question, because your son said something about it.
Okay.
And I was like, for this little part, there's so much R&D in just one little thing, and I was shocked by it. So,
certain little items, you don't think there's much that going on, but it's so critical because of what they do, or maybe it has to fit in a tight spot.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a very tight tolerance part when it's made, even though it looks super simple.
Yeah.
So.
Or it could be the same part that works on an application that has 5 different versions of the application.
Exactly.
Hey, let's go into the manufacturing.
Cool. Sounds good. So what room is this right now?
So we're now on the manufacturing side of the building.
Okay.
The half where all the raw material comes in, whether it's plate steel, cast iron. It goes through a assembly line of being processed.
Okay.
Right now, what we're in is actually the press brake area. So 3 machines, the guys are forming the parts. Once they're laser cut, deburr or part number, they come over here and go through a process, getting all the bends and angles put in them. A lot of our parts we build where they interlock with each other. So a lot of that stuff has to be within half a degree. The robot parts that get welded need to be within about 3/1000ths of an inch. That's one piece of paper. It's what we're trying to keep, so all the tabs interlock. So when you put the part together, a dozen little pieces, you can imagine, if each one of them is slightly off, by the time you get to the final part, it's not going to fit in the jig. All right, so a lot of the pieces are designed in a way that they all interlock, and it's a check fixture for the guy while he's building it. So they can't be put together wrong. and you have two pieces of metal interlocking. So it's not just relying on the weld anymore of the part when it's bolted in the truck.
Yeah, I see.
So with that said, just another point, he said they won't interlock together. So in reality, if something was not correct, it's going to be found in the process prior to you get to the powder coating, side of things. So ending up to the customer incorrectly is very non-existent because the process of it all fitting together or finding that issue first.
I see. Okay. And what's this machine like right here, for example?
So this is a Mata HG 1703 press brake. It's a press brake that has a ton of tonnage, and it has a crowning mechanism so that if you're doing a long part, it will self-adjust. At the same time, it has a sensor. So it uses a laser-guided safety beam, and it has a sensor to check each bend within 1/4 of a degree. So accuracy is like super high on this part. A lot of the parts are like this. This is a sample. So the guy, what he's working right now, you can see a lot of this stuff, the way that it's put together. It has these little tabs, right? So these inner and outer parts fit to these pieces on all these little tabs. You can see how tight that is.
Wow.
Right? And then it has some back here in the back. So once this piece is made, it goes together in a clip pattern. And then there's another fixture for this one because it's critical on this height. When it gets put together, making sure that this is going to fit the truck exactly the same. You can imagine if this part was made right and this piece was a little bit down or a little bit up, all of a sudden your lower link is going to vary. And all of a sudden your alignment's going to be a little long on one side, a little short on the other. So these parts are very precise when they're made, not just the look of them, right?
I see.
This right here, sway bar inlay, sway bar drop bracket. So this is flat right now, but it's going to get 4 creases in it, and it's going to get formed into a box shape.
I see.
These parts that are over here, that are staged along the wall, these are either waiting to go to welding, or they got done in the powder or the lasering area. And they're sitting here waiting for one of the guys to go through and assemble the parts, put them together, press brake, basically build the sub-assemblies for the welding department, which is on the next side.
Okay.
This right here, this is your 4-inch kit front cross member.
Okay.
Okay. Here's your skid plate. But yeah, that's how it looked before we got it all welded up.
So it's just a sheet of metal. Look at that. That's it.
Yeah, so right here, these holes, that's where the badge is on the front side.
Right there.
And then it interlocks.
Well, here, I got one over here, Nick.
You do?
So, like, this is 1/2 of the back cross member, the rear.
Okay.
Here's the other half. You can see how these parts basically clip together.
Oh, wow.
Right? The tab keys all go together. All these little notches, see where my finger is? That basically lines that notch up.
Oh, wow.
And then each one of these T-joints basically get welded, right? So the end caps all locked together. So even if this thing's tabbed, these parts don't slop around. Like, this is a tight fixture when it's put together. Now, when this gets put into the fixture, it's clamping it together, so it's perfect.
I see. And I hear a welder going off right now.
Yeah, bro.
I see him. Okay.
Yeah, we'll walk around this way.
Okay.
So we have 3 robot cells and 8 human welding cells.
Okay.
Some of the higher volume stuff that we run large quantities, we will always robotically weld it. Something that we're making, 500 at a time. This is actually the laser department where all this plate steel comes in the door. We go through and process it. Certain parts that are not complicated, or maybe the nest isn't too complicated, we will actually use the robot system in the back to pick it. But some stuff that interlocks or the sheet becomes very thin, we still have to human pick it. So like we walk to the back. right? So all the parts that are laser cut right off the table. Some of this stuff becomes very hard to pick by hand or with the robot, right? Where it's the vacuum table won't pick it up, or if there's an assorted of microscopic little parts.
Yeah.
It's another downfall of the robot system. It just won't pick it up.
I see.
We have to pick it by hand. You know, little stuff like this. You know, little tabs.
Yeah. Now, really quickly, I want Steve to explain. I was just asking him, hey, why do you have the factory brakes? This is your CV axle here. Hub.
Yeah, the hub, dust shield.
Yeah, dust shield.
This is the original. So this is the 2020 HD. This is what this cart's for. So the guy that's running this machine, he's running 2020 HD 4-inch spindles. Not only do we take a granite slab and measure them twice a day, as well as checking the ball joints on every set. The guy is responsible for 2 sets a day. He goes through and installs the original bearing, the dust shield, the rotor, the caliper. We stick the CV axle in the back to make sure the clearance has been machined, so there's no hiccup or possibly maybe something was off, or because some of these tolerances are really tight.
Yeah.
We like to assemble it fully and make it tight down to make sure everything is clearing. It's just a fail-safe to make sure that we're producing good parts. And you do the same thing by measuring each one. This just makes sure you're checking every little thing. This is a casted part, right? So which means when it comes out of the mold, it's a sand casting. You may get a variant here or there. There may be a little thick spot, you know, and it's not like a full billet part that's machined and we're trying to hold like 3,000 tolerance.
Yeah.
The cast iron has to be located on this fixture plate off of a casted surface. So it's going to vary a little bit.
Sure.
When it goes into the second operation, now we can locate it off a machined pad. We know it's perfect. Just for that what if factor, it's great for us to be able to assemble these. And make sure that every set that's coming off is perfect. And the end user isn't going to have an issue, right, when they get the product.
That's awesome.
Especially there's nothing worse than having to ship somebody a part, you know, for something silly we could have caught.
Right.
That's this machine actually. These are those 4-inch spindles. You can see what they look like. Basically, when we get them from our foundry, they're raw. There's no surfaces in them, right? You can just all this stuff, right?
Yeah, there's no drills.
No holes, there's no bearing surface. There's no ball joints, no tie rods.
And can you explain to like the quality control for like this too? Like once they drill the holes, like
so this is being located on to a fixture. And one thing that we do, and I don't know how other people do it, the process we do for loading this, again, we're touching off of casted surfaces. So there's going to be a little variable in the first operation. But the way we machine them, we can machine exact accuracy for all alignment specs, from the bearing surface to the upper ball joint, the tie rod, and the lower, so that every set is perfect when they come off the machine. That's a big part of the kit. Something we focus a ton on is like, you got scrub radius and you got steering increment on how the tires are binding in a corner. All of that geometry is taken into consideration when we design the kit. You know, like Nick says a lot, no poke, right? That's all factored into what we're doing when we build these when we design these knuckles, when we design the cross members. All that stuff functions together, knowing that our customers are going to put, you know, most likely a specific size wheel within a certain range. So when they're done, it's going to drive as good or better than it did stock. They're not going to have any tire scrubbing or issues with the tires wanting to wear out. Like, all that geometry has been calculated into this kit. You know, the first time we built this, the first prototype, we built the first knuckle. We printed it out of plastic, put it on the truck. We thought that's what we wanted. Sent it off, made a mold from it, got the castings, put it all together. It worked, but we found something that we could do better to make it even better. So we ended up just scrapping it, never produced that one, went back, made a new mold, produced a new fixture plate, remachined it, and ended up with like what we have today, which is an awesome product. Like the fit and finish, the function of it, just the way that it works.
So right here is the knuckle going to the fixture, and you can see there's already made some passes on machining it inside there right now. The machine, so it swaps out, right?
Yeah.
So the machine right now is machining these surfaces just like you've seen on those other ones that were finished over there. It's machining all these surfaces, holes and everything.
I see. Now, Steve, these are your nitrogen tanks for your laser cutter.
Correct.
Okay. Why not just outsource manufacturing to China? Because at the end of the day, I mean, this is a lot going on here that you have to manage, that you have to stay on top of. You know, when people call out sick, I mean, at the end of the day, people in
With the city and
yeah, oh my gosh, and we're in California right now, so that it's even higher for that too.
Yeah.
So why not just outsource?
There's a lot of other companies that bring in product already boxed. Lift kit manufacturers that have kits made elsewhere, shipped in the United States, already boxed. And yes, they can sell it a lot cheaper. The thing that we do different, again, like this is my passion, right? Like everyone's like, oh, what's your hobby? Like this is it.
Okay.
Like I enjoy building things, developing, engineering parts, finding ways to make them better, right? Like we weren't the first one to come out with a 4-inch HD kit, right? But it was a popular item. We saw that there was ways to improve that. So we put our own spin on it, created those items, redeveloped a kit, and designed something, you know, we're doing really well with. So it's things like that we do well here, because I can build those items, I can design them, engineer them, build them in-house, and have them shipped, you know, quick.
Yeah.
Versus if you were to go overseas, you know, you have months, you know, probably 90 to 120 days. So if there's a change in something, you have to wait or you have to pick that up. The other thing is I can control that quality here. Like on certain items, if I build it and I don't like it, I don't use it. I'll go back to the drawing board and we'll change it. You know, like there's a couple of the 7 to 9 inch HD lift kits. I redeveloped that front cross member like a dozen times just because I didn't like how the angles looked relative to the skid plate when it was sitting on the truck.
I see.
You know, or maybe a pair of like 4 bars when they're bolted on at a specific ride height. Like the geometry of all the little cutout windows didn't look as good as it could. Here I can develop all that immediately. I can make changes. I don't have to rely on anyone. So, and I truly do enjoy building things, engineering, making them better, especially when I get something done and it drives better than it did stock.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of companies, you know, they just bolt on a kit and maybe it gets bigger, you put bigger wheels and tires on it, and it looks the part. How does it tow with the trailer? How does it ride? You know, all these variables. So I like truly do enjoy building and engineering and developing and making things better. So this is the driver's side shock mount.
Driver's side shock
for the
mount.
Multimatic shock.
Okay.
So this truck comes with these high-dollar Multimatic, the gold and blue shocks.
Yes.
You know, from the factory, the ZR2 or the AT4X, which are really awesome shocks. They do a great job for what it is, especially when you get this thing back with a lift kit on it, you're really going to notice a difference on how it drives and rides now. The NTD obviously adds a little different ratio and leverage factor to what you're feeling. So you're going to be super happy with it. One of the ways we're able to achieve this shock on this vehicle is with this shock mount. So this shock mount is dropping it down, and you would think, it's a pretty simple little part, right? At the end of the day, not necessarily. This bracket is dropping this shock down. Well, at full hang, when this is in the truck, you're within 30 thousandths of this shock hitting the frame. And when the spindle turns, it gets even closer on the outside. So when we build this part, the tolerance for these two bends on both top and bottom is very precise. As well as there's an additional cap There's 2 thick washers and 2 thin washers that go with this. So when you install it, we put it up in here, we tighten the upper, get it fit to where it goes, and then there's a hole. You can't see it, but back on this side, there's a nut and a bolt. That's a hole that we make you mark once this bracket's tight. And then you have to take the bracket out and you have to drill that hole. That gives us that support so that this bracket doesn't sit there and eventually break your upper shock tower.
Right.
We could have just put it on there and dropped it down. Long term, eventually something was going to happen with it. This way it becomes a little more effort, right? You do have to drill these 2 holes, but you don't ever have to worry about this fatiguing and breaking this upper shock mount.
I see. Yeah, so the level of engineering that goes into this is not about just allowing you to retain these shocks, but they want to give you the rigidity that it needs too. That way, if you are going off-road or something like that.
Yeah, you're going to take this truck and put it through its paces and, what some people would say, like, abuse it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying taking it on a fire road, taking it through some whoops, what this truck can do. Like, this is going to be a way that we can make sure that shock is going to stay secure.
Yeah.
And like I said, like, you look at this and you're like, this is just a simple little shock bracket. But, man, it's a tight little area for this big shock body to get in there, where it doesn't hit the frame and it doesn't hit the spindle. It doesn't run into the NTD or the sway bar drop or the sway bar extension. So a lot of little things, even though they look simple, a ton of engineering goes into it.
100%. Now we got to walk over to your shocks here. So I had asked Steve, hey Steve, can I get some M84? I'm already here. I don't really want to use the Multimatics anymore. And he gave me the best answer possible. He already told me what he was going to say. He said, hey, I'm going to tell you right now. Well, here, I'll just go ahead and take it away.
One, I want you to experience the Multimatics on the truck. So you can feel the difference in what it was when you had stock or level. And now having it on a true 4-inch kit. You're definitely going to be happy. With that being said, the M84s aren't fully ready for your application yet.
Okay.
We're doing some tuning on the valving for that truck specifically. That's why we haven't released that. You've seen him on Nick's truck driving around. He's been doing some of the testing for us. We're taking them on and off, dynoing them, making a few little tweaks. That's one thing. It would be easy for me to say, yeah, let's just throw a set on there. But I'm really adamant about making sure it's perfect. I want to test it and make sure it's better than what you already have.
I see.
When you get it.
So
without a doubt, when you get that, we'll send you a set. Maybe later on you can try and throw them on there and get a comparison, give us some feedback of what you think.
Okay, no.
Be another tester on that side of things. But I want to also add to what Steve stated also about it. So I've got a lot of time stock and lifted, okay? The Multimatics, I know a lot of guys online have discussed a lot of it with a lot of AT4X and TR2 owners. The Multimatics are a good shock. There's not a whole lot of information, so a lot of people are not exactly sure if they should like them or not like them. And there's also a lot of discretion on what people are liking or disliking about them in stock form on an AT4X. But as I'm very adamant about talking about other dynamics of the suspension, there's less droop travel on a factory AT4X. So in stock configuration, I feel that those shocks do have a little bit of a discredit to them, but I want to also, with the 4-inch kit, there's some development of that 4-inch kit that is actually utilizing that shock in a better position and ride height zone for the shock that is tremendously helping out on the ride quality. So at the end result, yes, if you're not happy with the factory, because I know some guys aren't, you would be satisfied with them with the 4-inch kit because of other reasons of dynamics of different geometry, different stroke patterns and all that stuff, which if anyone has any questions about it directly, I'm more than happy to jump on a phone call with them and give them a direct perspective and bounce any questions directly on that person.
Yeah, 100%, man. Steve, Nick, guys, thank you so much for this.
Yeah, for sure. You're welcome.
So earlier in the week when I got here, I asked Steve, hey, are you interested in a great idea? And I told you guys about this earlier in the video. And what I'll tell you is this: when you become a business owner, you learn where to stand. And so, what did you say to me yesterday?
I would love nothing more than to build a one-off of something every day. It's cool, it's exciting. But a lot of times, like, that's just not the way to do it, right? We have testing and development that goes into it, and we're busy making what we already make.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to develop something new, something else kind of has to suffer, right? Or something needs to go away. So you can't always just build everything. And I get a ton of people all week long, you know, that I end up talking to, like, you know, you should make this, or man, I got a good idea for you, you know. And a lot of people just don't know what goes into it. Well, it's like I showed you today, like some of the equipment and machinery and things it takes to make something. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to mass produce it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and the other thing too, I mean, we're here because of the forge.
Yeah.
Mind you, this forge kit released in, what was it, November? We released it in November 2024.
Yeah.
And we're still developing parts for it.
Yeah.
Like shock packages and stuff. So like there's a lot of residual off of just one platform or one application that still keeps on going, and that's now what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the other significance to it. There's a lot of time that gets, just because we're done with the part number doesn't mean we're done with the part number.
Yeah.
We're adding to that part number.
Yeah. And just as we talk about those shocks, I mean, the masters that work over here too, you know, he's killing it. He's putting things together. And so again, good things come to those who wait. That's what you're basically telling me.
That's it.
And
I want you to experience it. I know deep down you're going to be way happier with this when it leaves here than when you got here.
100%.
Wow, that was a big improvement. Drive it, use it, enjoy it. I know you're going to be happy.
Yeah.
Maybe a month or two, we get the development done of these. I'll send them to you. Then you can give us some input on those.
There's more value in that too. There's going to be people asking you about the multimatics, and so it would not be justice for you to jump over the multimatics and go straight to the M84 series reservoir shocks, because then you're not going to have nothing, no baseline, no nothing to go off of. So it's going to be way more valuable for you to drive this truck with the multimatics. So then, I mean, it's the lift kit. The lift kit's installed now. You still got the same wheels and tires. You still got the same shock.
Yeah.
So you're going to see and feel the difference of the lift kit dynamics first.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we can do something with the shocks, and then you can speak upon that as well.
Now you understand why their kit costs just a few bucks more. And I think it's worth it because you're supporting a American company who supports local businesses. And one thing I love about McGaughys, and something Steve said a lot when I was there, was,
and I don't know how other people do it,
which lines up with, this is my passion. At the end of the day, he cares about doing the hard stuff. And when you see the kit, you can really see that. I mean, look at the overall quality of this crossmember up front. Look at those welds. Look at how well this has held up. Now, I've already gone off-road with this truck. You can see a little bit of mud on my tires, right? I let my friend drive my truck. He's actually going to go ahead and order a kit. We're going to California again, potentially, so he can get it installed out there. And look at the angles of the suspension. This not only makes the ride better, you get more droop travel, but it looks stinking cool in your truck. And I'm telling you guys, the quality of this kit is why you should buy it. And I don't know what else to say. I think that after you guys met Steve McGaughy, you now know who you're supporting. You're supporting someone who really cares about the end product. Every detail matters to him. And that's why this truck rides so much better. That's why when I was going 50 miles an hour down this road over here, and some of you guys are shocked at how well the truck handled and how it wasn't bouncing up, you know, inside the truck. That's why, because this kit gave you the extra droop travel that lacked from the factory. And no disrespect to the manufacturers, they have to build a cost-effective product. So that's where the aftermarket comes in and gives you just a little bit more of that meat on the bone that they left off. So hope this video was helpful. Again, if you want to purchase a McGaughys kit, I don't have a promo code unfortunately, but reach out to Nick, reach out to McGaughys. They can help you guys out. I'm happy I spent the coin on this kit. It was worth every single penny. You guys saw I barely fit these 38s on my truck, barely fit them. They rub just slightly. With this kit, by the way, they don't rub anymore. And I can prove it because you can see on my frame, you see where I repaired that wax coating basically. So when I was turning in, I was rubbing on the frame there. I was also rubbing right here on the sway bar. Having that lift kit added to my truck fixed that problem. So yes, I have the clearance kit to fit the bigger tires. I did a lot of cutting, so just understand that. But still, from the stock suspension to now, it's improved so many things. I can't even remember all of them. It's really worth the extra cost to lift your truck.